Hello and welcome to Bengal Banter. I'm Brenton van Tassell. Bengal Banter is produced by the college students on the campus of Idaho State University. Today, Shelbie Harris and Maddy Coles are here to talk a little bit about how they balance going to school and working a full-time job. First off, guys, I would like to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedules to make it on here for Bengal Banter and do this interview with us, and we really appreciate it. How long have you been into school? How far along into school are you right now?
I'm a fourth-year senior. Started in 2012. I'll be graduating here at the end of spring semester.
Maddy?
I am a sophomore.
Okay. What are you guys planning to major in?
Majoring in multi-platform journalism. I was originally majoring in English as well as journalism, but I kind of just switched over just journalism and a minor in visual communication.
Maddy?
I'm also majoring in multi-platform journalism, and I don't have a minor yet.
Maddy, was your major always going to be in multi-platform journalism, or have you thought about changing it, or have you changed it yet?
No, pretty much. I always just started in it, and I haven't changed it, so.
Okay. How long? We understand that you guys have been working at the Idaho State Journal, so not only are you taking classes full-time, but you're working close to 40 hours a week. Shelbie, you mentioned Idaho State Journal. Maddy, you have two jobs, Applebee's and journalism. What do you guys do for the Idaho State Journal?
So I'll start off. I work for the Idaho State Journal, and Maddy actually works for the Bengal newspaper, which is where I got my start. For the Journal, I'm a staff reporter. I cover pretty much anything and everything, from sports to politics to anything that's going on, any spot news or anything that's happening like on the fly. Takes a lot of work. I mean, a lot of phone calls, lots of hours in front of a computer. So it's definitely at least 40 hours a week, and it's a task for sure.
Maddy, what do you do with for the Bengal?
So for the Bengal, I'm the life editor. So I usually write I write 2 stories a week about any events on campus, or different places in Pocatello. I just wrote a story about open mic nights in Pocatello, anything like lifestyle and culture like that. And then I also edit the other staff writers' stories for the life section, and do the layout for those pages.
Okay, interesting. Now, Shelbie, did you start out full-time? Did you part-time and work up?
So, originally, I was trying to, all right, so it was kind of a crazy process. I worked for them over the summer. In April, I started doing some freelance work for them, and then kind of just got an open spot. Somebody took off, and a gig opened up, and I was going to try and balance working for the Bengal newspaper, as the editor-in-chief, and for the Idaho State Journal, and it just, one, they don't allow it, and two, it would have just, now that I'm in it at the Journal, it would have been impossible to do both effectively. So in August, I accepted a full-time position, and I've kind of been in it ever since.
I don't know. Maddy, how do you balance out the same thing as kind of what Shelbie does?
Yeah, pretty much a lot of time management. I work most of my time at Applebee's, but I usually spend about 10 hours a week on the newspaper, just in between the weekly meetings and the interviews, and actually writing the stories and editing the stories. So.
Okay. Now, do you enjoy working for the Idaho State Journal, Shelbie?
As much as anybody would enjoy work, I would say, yeah.
And Maddy, for the Bengal, do you enjoy it?
That's a good one. I'm going to have to agree with his answer.
What are your guys' favorite subjects to cover? Shelbie, we'll start off with you. Do they assign you specific topics, or do you kind of have a say in what you do?
So I'm on, my beat is ISU, so I'll cover anything related to Idaho State University, whether it's, a professor going on leave, or some a faculty member is being addressed or something along those lines. But then I'm also, with the newspaper, we've got to put a lot of copy out, so we need all sorts of content. So I'll write anything from, a dog or puppy being rescued from a pipe to high-speed pursuit, So, it's really, in Pocatello, the news scene is a little different from, larger cities where you have a specific beat and you have to cover that beat day in and day out. I kind of do a little bit of everything. There's some stories where I'll recommend a story and I'll write it myself, or he'll set me up with a story. It's definitely a process. I mean, I'm working probably anywhere from 7 to 10 stories at once, and so you kind of grind them out and just start plugging away at them and making phone calls and writing like simultaneously. It's just it's like a never-ending wheel for sure.
Are there subjects that you guys really don't care for covering that they make you assign? Maybe some that you guys find boring?
Yeah, I'm not a fluff story kind of a guy. Like, I'm not that happy stuff where, like, the puppy out of a pipeline, like, that's lame. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. I don't know why. I just am like, controversy is nice. I mean, I think that, sensational stories sell for sure. So those are the kind of stories that I like to write. Plus, it's unique I think those are more of a challenge to be able to tackle those stories and be able to provide balance at the same time, so it doesn't seem like you're supporting one way or the other. So I think they're more challenging, and their readers are more interested in acquiring that information than reading about a safe dog or horse or something like that.
Yeah. Maddy, what about you? Is there anything that you've done that you particularly didn't like?
For a while when I first started at the Bengal, I wrote like a sports story every week because I was pretty much the only writer they had that could write sports, but I'm not a big sports person, so I mostly did features and just kind of wrote all about the person. Then our sports editor went in and made it sound more like a sports story, so that was a challenge for me.
Sports is actually probably something I would only want to write about, just so much statistics and analytics that it's probably easier for me to write. So have you guys ever made a video that covers a story? So rather than just writing it and putting it in the paper, maybe a video that you guys have made, whether it be for ISJ or a class that you've been in previously?
I mean, I've done a couple different things in the past. I wrote, I did a thing about like mask making up at the College of, Student Performing Arts Center. Just the other day, I made like a little video for the Out-of-State Journal with these firemen going through this extra training. But then probably like the only thing that I really spent a lot of time with or put any sort of time into was the Simplot Games had a poster contest, and I kind of covered who won the contest. They did an announcement for it, and so I kind of shot some video and spliced it all together and kind of recorded some audio and stuff over the top of it. I'm not a huge video guy by any means, but I mean, if it's like we're in a bind and I had to get it done, I could like take one for the team for sure.
Yeah. What about you, Maddy? Any sports features that they've made you do for videos or classes you've done?
No, typically most of my stories have just been written.
Okay. Well, we actually have Shelbie's video that he made, so we will go ahead and take a look at that.
After battling fierce competition, J.R. Simplot has announced the winner of the 5th annual Simplot Games poster contest. Executive Director of the Simplot Games, Lisa Woodland, believes having students design the poster supports all parties involved.
It's been very beneficial. It's definitely beneficial for us, but for the students and the mass communications department as well.
For the first time in 5 years, the contest featured students from not only the Advanced Graphic Design course, but students from illustration classes also participated. This edition added a different element to this year's submissions.
Tend to fall back on Photoshop and their favorite tricks in the advanced classes, and the illustration class, some of them tried things they've never tried before.
Students were excited to be able to work on an international project for such a prominent local business to the area. For students like contest winner Noi Thano, the experience was something fresh and new to dive into.
It's awesome. It's really big. I've never represented anything like that before, so I'm super excited.
A cash reward is nice. However, the opportunity to gain direct professional experience is what matters most. In Pocatello, this is Shelbie Harris for KIDK Eyewitness News.
That was a very well done, put together video for you, Shelbie. How was that process? Was it difficult, easy to do something or cover that type of a story?
It was not very difficult at all. I'm not a huge fan of television. I guess it seemed kind of cheesy when I was doing it, but I enjoyed the whole entire process. I mean, I felt like I learned a lot. Plus, I got to work with Noi and Paula and all those guys in our department. So I felt like it was a fun learning experience for me. It was definitely something that I learned is like what I didn't want to do for the rest of my life, just like that. So it was nice.
Now, let's talk about both you guys balancing out your schedules of working full-time and going to school. Do you guys have a specific type of system that you guys do, maybe something that works for you to keep you guys in line or continuously get motivated?
I don't know. I have not really. I mean, I have a way of making sure that I pretty much keep everything in line and try to balance work and play, you know?
Yeah, mine's very just organized chaos. It's very much like one thing at a time.
Yeah, just organize lists and kind of just tackle everything as it comes. How difficult is it to handle everything that's going on in your life, like at once, between school, work, and homework?
You know, I don't know. It's interesting because people think that there's like this baseline in life that you're trying to apply or like wonder like, okay, this is where, you know, this is where I need to go or grow from here. And for me, that baseline's always constantly changing. So I just don't really pay attention to it. I'm just trying to stay afloat for sure.
Yeah, I
Okay.
would definitely agree with that.
Now, just out of curiosity, how many hours of sleep do you guys get at night, being that you're so busy? On average, would you say?
A night, probably not very many, but I definitely get my sleep in when I need to get it in, like
Yeah.
naps or just a little bit in the middle of the day.
Yeah, see, I don't have a lot of time for naps. My sleep schedule, I guess on average, it probably evens out because when I have the time to sleep, I'll sleep like 16 hours. You know, if I have a day off, it is nothing but sleep because usually, you know, at night I'll get, 4 hours of sleep.
Right, exactly.
All right, last question. What type of person do you feel like you have to be to make this type of a schedule work out? What kind of traits would you have to have?
I think the right answer probably would have to say like dedicated or structured or organized, but I just think that it's relentlessly diligent, just like not caring about, you just get it all done, you just like kind of are running around sporadic and crazy, but just making sure that you're getting it done at the very, very end of the day. So.
No, I definitely think so. I'm not a super organized person, but definitely just really just making sure that no matter what, it gets done.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we are all out of time. Shelbie and Maddy, I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule for joining us today here on the Bengal Banter. My name is Brenton Van Tassell, and we are on the campus of Idaho State University, and we'll see you next time.